Okay, wonderful, everybody. Good morning. We are on time, 9:01. Good morning to Australia, to Joanne, and all over Europe and India. Many people from India, because this is a great time also for India. And yes, we will have a wonderful 2 hours now together. We have altogether 4 meetings to celebrate Leonard Orr's legacy and his life. And some of you know him personally, and we have a few interviews with people that have had personal exchanges with him, but also after his passing had experience with him. So we will have a lot of sharing today, and yes, we will start this beautiful coming together with Jayshree and the Creative School, who are having the opening prayer for us to honor Leonard's life, and just to honor life and welcome us all here. So I give it over to Jayshree and the Creative School.
Thank you, Haika. Can you hear all of us? Can you
Yes,
hear us?
we can.
Okay, great. So we are going to begin with what we call as Shanti Mantras, or mantras for peace and well-being for all of us, for the whole world. That's really what we feel Leonard stood for our own well-being and well-being of the whole world. So we'll begin with... Yeah.
One second. I would like everybody to mute yourself, because if there's any background noise, so then and if you want to sing, and also with the affirmation, keep yourself muted and you speak the affirmation. So then we don't have the sound strange. Thank you.
Thank you, Haika. So let's begin. So we'll begin. The first one we're singing is Asatoma Sadgamaya, which is basically a chant to take us from darkness to the light, from ignorance to illumination, to wisdom. So we'll begin with that. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sahana bhavatu sahanau bhunatu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu. 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 Om Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti. Shanti Shanti. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. O Master, grant that I may never see so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. Only takes a spark to get the fire going, and soon all those around can warm up in its glory. That's how it is with God's love. Once you experience it, you want to sing, you feel like spring, you want to pass it on. Oh, great Spirit, earth, wind, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me. Oh, great Spirit, earth, wind, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me. Oh, great Spirit, earth, wind, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
Thank you so very much for this beautiful beginning of our time together. First of all, I like to share a little bit about Leonard's life. After I say thank you to all who made this possible here to be here today, especially also Vera, who is here, who has been making all the wonderful advertisement, and then the team of Reba. And the team of Reba, two of them are already still sleeping because it's in the middle of the night in the US. but they will be on tonight, and that's Sarah Dawn and Peace Virginia Arnold. And so Leonard's life started in Walton, New York, where he was born in 1937 on the 15th of November, which will be our physical Immortality Day. He grew up in a little small town in Walton, and he always kept talking in all his trainings about his upbringing and that he was already the third child not wanted by his mother, and that his challenges was not feeling loved. He studied religion and philosophy, and to become a minister in the church. And he always said that Jesus appeared to him to say he wasn't supposed to be a minister for the church, but for the unchurched. So we are the unchurched. And then he found his life's mission with rebirthing. After he was already studying physical immortality and the immortal yogi masters, and he put that together in trainings. And so many of us had the blessing to either train personally and meeting Leonard, or to train with some of his students. So the training always consisted of three. He said there were three main points, and that was spiritual enlightenment, spiritual purification, and spiritual, now I forgot, spiritual enlightenment, spiritual purification, and spiritual community. How could I forget that? Spiritual community, that we are coming together and that we are supporting each other. So we will talk more about his life, and he wrote many books. We will talk about that. And we start with what he always started the trainings with. We always started all trainings with affirmations. And what we will do is Karuna will read the affirmations, and we, keeping ourselves muted, we will speak it back. So then we have the affirmation, and shall we do that? I don't see Karuna right now. Might have my window in front of it.
I'm here.
Okay.
Should I start?
Yes, please. Lead us through affirmations.
I recognize my divine essence and that of others.
I recognize my divine essence and that of others. J. And J means victory. And Babaji said, don't say it like a dead person. So we are saying it with all our aliveness.
Love is self-approval.
Love is self-approval.
Life is easy and pleasurable.
Life is easy and pleasurable.
I trust the future. Life is supporting me.
I trust the future. Life is supporting me.
Love remains in my life.
Love remains in my life.
Love is everywhere. I am lovable and loving.
Love is everywhere. I am lovable and loving.
God is with me all the time.
God is with me all the time.
I am alive, therefore my life urge is stronger than my death urge.
I am alive now, therefore my life urge is stronger than my death urge.
I observe and accept all of my emotions.
I observe and accept all of my emotions.
I have a personal connection with God or divinity.
I have a personal connection with God or divinity, and my infinite connection to infinite energy.
I'm connected to the divine from within.
I am connected to the divine from within.
My presence is a healing force to the world.
My presence is a healing force to the world. Thank you. And the affirmation, the one, I am alive now, therefore my life urge is stronger than my death urge. And if I strengthen my life urge and weaken my death urge, I will keep on living in increasing health and usefulness. Thank you, Karuna. So I would like to dive in, first of all. Oh no, we have the breathing exercise. How can I forget that? Eva will lead us in the breathing exercise.
Hello, it's so lovely to see everyone. Good morning. So we'll just do what we always do, I believe, in the trainings, which is the 20 connected breaths. And we'll start by doing that through the nose. So I believe you all know that, but I'll still explain it. Just breathe in 4 times shortly through the nose, in and out, and then 1 long breath. And we'll do that 4 times. So we have 20 breaths in total. I'll just do it. You have muted, so you can just go with me. And let's go. Lovely. Let's do the same thing, still through the nose, but let's keep our mouths open. Just feel that energy flowing through your body and feel the light and the beauty of that. Nice, open up. We have the same thing again through the nose, but this time with your tongue, with your tongue between your teeth and your upper lips to soften the jaw like this. And then the last thing before we do the silent ones, through the mouth. Nice. I love the tingling every time. And now Heike will do the silent ones and guide through a little meditation.
Okay, we are all just going to continue with 4 short breaths, 1 long breath, and not just 4 times, but we keep going and we can close our eyes. And we are inviting also all the invisible guests here with us, and we invite Leonard's energy to come to us, always present everywhere with us, supporting us, his inspiration. And as he was teaching us, we are always connected to infinite intelligence that knows our good. We are one with the creative force that is inside of us. And we are one with each other. Love, truth, and simplicity. Babaji's basic teachings for us, especially at these times, focusing on love for each other, for ourselves, for nature, living in truth, being honest, following our inner calling, and living in simplicity, living within our means and enriching each other. The silent breath connects us directly to spirit. And thank you, Leonard. We will now proceed and share about your life and everything that you've given to us. And I will start with my first interview, which will be Jayshree from Creative School. And I will ask different people here, and then we will also have the possibility of asking questions. So Jayshree is one of my favorite beings on this planet, because Jayshree and her husband Ashok, they founded the Creative School. They're teaching actually in the classroom spiritual principles. And the spiritual principles are the 7 principles of the sacred classroom: unconditional love, awareness, respect, mirroring, learning from challenges, and drop the ego. And so Leonard went to the Creative School in Bangalore, and he gave a training there. And then Alfredo Galbosera kept following up, and Jayshree and the team of teachers have been implementing rebirthing breath work with the children, with the teachers, within the team and the community of parents, and they have wonderful experiences with that. They also have a fireplace in the school, and following the teachings of Aurobindo and the mother, and then implementing Leonard's spiritual purification into the classroom. So I'm very happy to have you here, and I'm so amazed. And we had a little training for the kids in the summer, who all had done 10 sessions with one of the teachers, and then having started to give sessions to other classmates or other kids, and I was so blessed to be there with you. So I know a little bit about what you're doing, and I would like you to share some of your experiences with the children and rebirthing breath work, and how Leonard's this method has inspired you.
Okay. Thank you, Heike, for your kind words. And it's just the deepest respect and gratitude to Leonard. And he came into Creative School at the right time in our journey. It was perfect. And it's very hard for me to put into words. I'll try my best. Is it okay if I share the screen and show some pictures?
Sure. I make you the host. I have to make you the host. Wait. Okay.
Okay, so we just have to share. 1 second. It's transferring. Sorry.
No pressure. Leonard always stayed relaxed in all situations. So
Yes,
that
yes.
was one of the things that he taught me most, relax.
Yes. So I'll just, my friend Kavya here is helping me with this, just to get we've been having an art therapy training going on. So we're just trying to switch screens here. And so it began, Leonard visited us for 15 days, for 17 days actually, in 2014. And since then, I think the first thing I should share is just those 17 days when he and rebirthers from all over the world visited us. And I think if there's one word that can describe that retreat and the whole experience, it's just peace. It was just incredibly peaceful. Are you able to see now? Perfect. Okay. So this is a picture of Leonard on the dome. Our school has a dome, and he used to climb up there with the children. And while he was at school, he during the retreat, children also took part in the retreat. We had rebirthers. I think there were 45 people, adults, and many children came and received sessions at that time. And Leonard initiated a program then to be able to offer interested children 10 sessions. And we've been keeping it going since 2014 December. And possibly over 100 children have received 10 sessions and over. And some of them have gone to 30, 40 sessions as well. But I think the most, it's just hard to describe in words all the changes we've seen. So let me just go ahead and start off with a few of, this is another picture of Leonard and Elvie at that time with all the children who used to come in every day. They would take part in, with the 45 adults in the affirmation circles every single day. And the J was definitely very loud. Yeah, so. So since then, many different aspects of breathwork have been integrated in the school. Today, I'm sharing especially our work with children. There's a lot of work we've done, with adults, with teachers, with people who've come in for sessions. But I want to focus a bit on, what the gift we've received in working with children. So we typically start, the children are given a choice sometime close to 4th or 5th grade. And that's when they're able to choose, do I want breathwork or not? And so, like I said, over 100 children have already received, the 10 or 10 plus sessions. And every morning in school, we begin with the breathing routines. At that time, Leonard, during the retreat, we used to do 20 connected breaths, alternate nostril breathing with Om Namah Shivaya, and silent energy breathing. So that's something that's just part of school. Everywhere we go, whatever we do, we just begin with that. And it's become a daily fire practice. In our space, given it's a community space, we don't have, and today we have close to 270 children and almost 110 adults. We don't have a fire for each person. So it is group fire. And I had checked that with Leonard and he said, yeah, no problem. It's going to take a long time before, someone is going to be sensitive enough to want their own fire. So we have daily fire practice. Whoever enters the school gets to spend 30 minutes with a fire. There's a big, large fire at the gate. And especially during COVID times, it's been amazing. We've had so many people, school has been on and off. Every time they come into school, everyone sits around the fire. Affirmations, fire are simply part of our, I think every cell in our body. We make affirmations for everything. So that's become a creative, it's almost like a signature here. Everybody makes affirmations for everything. The daily fire practice during COVID has kept our school safe. We've had a lot of people come. India had a lot of cases of pandemic. And we were still able to run school. thanks to the spiritual purification practices, and kids are just used to fire and Om Namah Shivaya chanting when they enter school. I especially want to talk a little bit about the breathwork and spiritual purification for adolescents. By the time they come into 9th and 10th grade and a little bit, and we have 11th, 12th and 13th grade as well in school, they are fully aware and they really choose the program for themselves. And I'll be touching a little bit upon the adolescent program has been extremely strong. And we have many adolescent rebirthers in school who are not only able to take care of themselves well, who are also offering sessions to other children in school. We have a weekly teen circle, a circle for teenagers, and practice sessions that happen every teen circle. And the adolescent, like I said, facilitators for teens and younger children. Every year, Alfredo would come and he would personally really help. He really helped fine-tune what is a completed energy cycle. You know, many of us were breathing very, hoarsely before that. And he really refined and brought in a certain level of refinement into the breathing. And he's been coming every year till the pandemic came and, travel was stopped. And Haika, thank you, did this wonderful 9-week program for our adolescents on the 15 biggies. And it has been amazing. And I have many, many stories to share, Haika, after your training. So let me go on to the next.
It was such a blessing. I mean, the wisdom I had never expected, when I started, it was like, what do I share? But the wisdom just kept blowing me away. I mean, these children are amazing.
Yeah, thank you. So there's a lot of work that happens at Creative on self-awareness. The children right from a young age are given the opportunity to stay connected to their feelings. We have a peace corner in every class. And, all the way from our early childhood through our adolescence. And everyone knows 20 connected breaths. So if a child falls or cries, they're just reminded, do 20 connected breaths, and they'll just go, the very little ones, twitching their nose, but they do it. Everyone does that. So there's a lot of awareness of emotions, a lot of time, even our way of teaching is always, close your eyes and see what's going on inside you. So that connection has retained. So breathwork and spiritual purification is a complete, boon for us on top of that. So the programs we've seen increase self-awareness in children. Most education is very head-centric. People are put in their heads a lot. But I think our practices here have kept them more in their body and more aware of all realms of their being. So we find that with the practices of breathwork and spiritual purification, it really increases self-awareness. While children do have their own share of conflicts and, they do go into their headspace, they know the difference between being in their headspace and, being clear. So we found a lot of difference in the self-esteem and self-confidence of children. We've had, by the time they come to 5th and 6th grade, sometimes they have their own challenges, and just, at that time, the sessions have worked like magic. And we've really found children's personality changing once they complete their 10 sessions. The ability to let go stories. And I can't speak enough about this, especially in the adolescent years, because they go through their own turbulence and their own changes at home and, with each other and sometimes with teachers as well. And being able to breathe through and knowing that after breath work, I can feel better is something that many children internalize. The lightness and joy. And I can't speak enough about this. Even during exam time, there is lightness and joy. It's not difficult to get A grades. Most people in India really stress out, and it's a lot of stress during exam time, the culture here. And I think it's been very easy for us throughout their exams, which last about 2.5 to 3 months. They have breathwork practice every week almost. And it just brings that lightness and joy. A much greater increase in their intuitive abilities. They choose positivity. They are taught to, that they have a choice. The power of choice is there, and they've learned to affirm and, create for themselves. So And now if I go a little bit into, I don't know if this is readable. I think my font is a bit small here. I'm sorry. I really want to talk a bit about, after bringing in the 15 biggies, which Heike did the training, a 9-week training for the children who are already facilitating sessions for others. And it opened up and healed a lot. Many children have been healing from birth trauma, parental disapproval syndrome. It's now accepted, it's become easy, and they're able to breathe through that. School trauma for children who joined creative, from other schools as well. Some of them have really healed from bullying and even sexual abuse inside schools. They are quite aware now of emotional energy pollution. So they know when they've picked up from somebody else, and that's something that's been quite amazing to see the teens very clear. Okay, this is, I think I picked it up from this person. Personal law, many of them, personal law was a life-changing experience for them to understand that they kind of self-destruct. And note that these are 17 and 18-year-olds with this wisdom. Food abuse, some of them have begun to recognize, okay, I'm going through food abuse. We've had many cases of children healing from sexual abuse trauma completely. There are children who've gone through this with even, friends and family, and, it's been talked about and used very well for that. And these are the common ones that I've seen the children report back, and that's what I've included, Heike. There are, of course, many other areas. I have missed out writing about health here. A lot of the girls use breath work extensively during their menstrual cycles. Another area that the children have become very aware of is the repression of the feminine and misuse of the masculine. So they feel, now they know, okay, I'm probably, repressing my emotions or my intuition, and I'm going too much to my head. Or they also know that life is not just for, an exaggerated masculine. So they know they are, they do have their own goals and ambitions, and it's perfectly okay to do that, but in balance with their feminine. So these are some of the amazing, and I just have no words to describe how grateful I am. I mean, Creative was set up as a space to honor and acknowledge the whole child. And more importantly, for the children to have a space to explore themselves in ways that are healthy for them. And to watch, 15, 16, 17-year-olds so easily take up the wisdom that has taken me decades. Honestly, it's taken me decades of healing and I find them so much lighter. In fact, the children should run this school. They're so much lighter than us. It's amazing. So it's brought out so much creativity, so much of positivity. I think breathwork and spiritual purification is just there in the energy of the school. So I'm just deeply grateful to everyone, to Leonard for being here, for that amazing retreat, which really made history for us, and for Alfredo and Heike and all of you for supporting us in so many different ways. So I think that's sort of a summary of the work that has happened here. So thank you for this opportunity to share. And it's really wonderful working with children, especially with adolescents. It's worth it. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. I think that honors Leonard's life most, what you have actually done with his teachings, because that is what he always wanted. And he was always talking about children leading the school for adults. And so trusting the inner wisdom before it gets destroyed. And so having people stay connected to their divine intelligence and potential. And so I think what you're doing is such an amazing, powerful work and an inspiration. So you also just moved out. You have a new place in nature where you're planting trees and growing food and are expanding on that.
Yes. So we have both this campus here, and now we've also moved a bit outside the city in nature, where there's a it's a hillside, so it's really beautiful for us. And so that we're also getting to practice breathwork there now. And the older children are there, about 4 days of the week. So we have that. And yeah, we're building a new school campus there and also a retreat center, because apart from our work with children, we've done our teachers training has breathwork. Every teacher who joins school, or every administrator, every cook, every staff who joins, practices fire meditation and receives 10 sessions. And I have to say, I mean, we don't charge inside school. We would be considered illegal by the Indian government if we started charging inside. So we just offer it to each other as a community space out of love. And it's been amazing for us. So that's inside school. And so inside what we call is the Sangha, the community, we just offer out of love. And we do have a center, a wisdom center, through which, we offer to clients professional sessions as well. And that has been very, very amazing. We've had people come in with cancers, to depression, to panic attacks, to all kinds of, physical as well as, relationship challenges and everything. And so there's a full-fledged center that's there. So on our new land, we're hoping to have a space where, there are bathtubs built and lots of space for fire and everything. So there'll be a retreat center there as well for people to stay there and do sessions. So that's both for the school, for all of us, we all use it ourselves, and of course for the general public, whoever wants to come in. So
thank you so much. You are such a light and an inspiration. After all these years that I've been around working with Leonard, I think you really, really put that into action, what he was teaching, and I'm sure he's totally happy and proud of what happened at Creative. Yes, thank you. Sandra is looking at Facebook if there's any questions. Is there any questions? She will let us know. I check in the chat, or if anybody has a special question now for Jayshree. Anybody who has, just unmute yourself. Otherwise, we will go then to the next speaker. And okay, good. But I think what this is a beautiful start of our meeting, because actually you mentioned everything that Leonard was teaching, and so this is a very powerful and amazing. I would like to continue with Joanne, if that's okay with you, Joanne, and how Leonard has inspired you. You are actually a rebirther and a breath worker, and you are creating a natural environment with earth houses. Am I saying that correctly? And you had a lot of personal experiences as well with Leonard. And would you like to share something with us?
Yeah.
Down under.
I would. First, I just want to say how blown away I am by Creative School. That was amazing, that story. Just makes you want to go there.
Right. Oh, I forgot. I would like to mention that if you like to donate to Creative, I will ask Jayshree later to, they are very happy to receive donations, and it's a wonderful, really worthy project, as you all.
Yeah.
Yes.
It would be so great to see those sort of schools all around the world. Oh, it's so inspiring. So I wanted to talk a little bit about first meeting Ed. I had been using conscious connected breath in my life since the early 90s, and I met Leonard in 2009 at a retreat organised by Pauline Wynne just outside Melbourne. And yeah, so I just walked past him on a track when I first saw him, and I was so incredibly moved. I had to go and sit down and cry for half an hour just because of what overtook me was that I realised just how much this person had given to me in my life without even meeting him, like it was overwhelming how much he'd given to me, how much he'd given my life. To me, it felt like he saved my life. And yeah, so that was a pretty powerful first encounter. And then something that had been going on in my life for, I don't know, a few months before that was that I started noticing that when whenever I hung around other people, that I would come home and I would feel like I had energy in my body that wasn't mine. And like I'd read Leonard's writings about EMP and stuff, but I didn't put the two together. But when I went to that first training, I realised, well, he spoke about it, and he spoke about it exactly in the same way that I described it, like that there's this white noise that hangs around in the middle of you. And he went like this, like I did as well. Like it was just exactly the same. I was, oh, that's what it is.
Emotional energy pollution.
Yeah, and because I've been thinking, I'm going to have to stop hanging out with people. This is annoying me too much, that I'm not, that my energy body is getting clogged up with other people's energy. But then, he obviously taught me that that didn't have to happen, that I could clear it out. And yeah, so that was really helpful.
Yeah, the concept of emotional energy pollution, some people got very upset about that, but the reality is we are all exchanging energy in that feeling of oneness, and either we are aware of it or we are not. And if we are not aware of it, it can trouble us without even knowing the cause of it.
Yeah, that's right. Of course. Yeah. So, yeah, it was a really good learning for me. And another thing I noticed about Leonard was that, like I've been to quite a lot of different rebirthing trainers and trainings with different trainers and stuff. And I would notice that when I went there, that they're like, the trainers, their energy fields were, bigger than mine, maybe double, sometimes triple. But when I met Leonard, I was like, oh my God, his energy field is so huge. Like it was like 200 times bigger than mine, And that with that, the thing that I learned was that the only thing that really needed to happen to heal was to be in his energy field. Like that you didn't really actually have to do much more than that. That because he cleaned up his energy so much and had such an expanded field, all you needed to do was walk into it, and that would change you like that. Which was like that. Just what it did was it really lifted my expectation of where my life could go. Like, I thought it could be this big, and then I realized, wow, my life can be this big. And so that was, that made me sing and dance for a while. And
yeah, just his energy. I mean, his energy, when you entered his energy field, everything that was in your energy would come up. And if that was upset, I mean, the upset was getting highlighted. So if he gave public talk, sometimes, he could set off the emotion in everybody. And then often people would project it out. So Leonard was a great target for projection, because coming into his energy, whenever I was away and I would come back, and the first 2-3 days, I was totally unsettled and my mind was going crazy till I adjusted to that energy.
Yeah.
And
really powerful. Yeah. And like another thing, like I knew about using the elements, but I didn't really get how how powerful it was to put them all together. and because of what I noticed in other rebirthing workshops is that I'd come away, high in my energy, but it was not balanced. It was a bit crazy. And as soon as you use all the elements, you get really sane, and the high energy that you have becomes a whole lot saner, it's all very balanced, and and that you can bring it to earth better. So that was really good. And I really love that he taught me about physical immortality, because it's just so much easier to live with that concept rather than, it just makes it so much easier to live. That's my comment about it. So the project that I'm working on is I'm building 3 earth buildings, and it's like a small retreat space for singles and couples when it gets finished. It's quite a project. And I'm doing that because I'm trying to create what feels to me like the most nurturing space I can build for a human. And to me, that's people being able to be surrounded by the earth in a circle, their circular buildings will create that. So that's the project I'm working on.
And you're building them all alone with making the mud and putting it all together.
Yeah. And it's a prayer, the whole thing.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I love all these stories, how individually we took what Leonard had to give and was sharing, and what we created out of it in our life. So thank you to Tasmania, to Joanne. Your project is called, where can people find you? It's the Earth
Space. It's called.
Earth Space. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, we will go into physical immortality a little bit later, but first I would like to have Aarti share a little bit with us, because Aarti also is working in India with rural women in Rishikesh. We did the training there, Annie Boyd and me, and Aarti was very eager to join, and Annie very eager to train also all of your family, and you all became rebirthers. And you have a project that is called Samvedana, and maybe you can share a little bit about your experience with breathwork in your project.
Namaste everyone. And first, happy Teachers Day. Today in India it's a Teachers Day.
Yes.
So happy Teachers Day to you, because you are my first teacher for this. I'm very new to breathwork. It's only almost 15 months. When I heard this breathwork from your mail, when you write me. And so when you come here, and first question is from my side to you, that I don't know what is breathwork, so I want to experience it. And unfortunately, that time lockdown, COVID situations come, but this is good luck for me actually. And you are stay 2 more months with us, you, Annie, and Karna, and it's my luck that you give me that training, and you give me sessions, and teach me how to relax myself, and how to work for others also, how to purify myself. So it's and it's all 1 year. It's completely changed me, really. Before that, many things happens like same, but I didn't understand the reason behind that. But now I understand why because I'm working with lots of people always together around me. So sometimes I feel very low, sometimes I feel very dizzy, but I didn't understand. But now I understand that those things. So I work on like a purification, and I understand DEP, NVC, so like that. And this is really good for me that I'm working with the rural background women, and they have these problems too much, like family customs and many things around them, and they are suffering too much. Before I give them trainings like stitching or this type of, this is also continue now also, but now I give them sessions and teach them meditation, teach them 20 connected breaths, and this is really good experience. And that when after that they say to me, ma'am, we feel very relaxed, we feel like we are lighted right now. So this is very good. And I started with their kids also, like their families kids also I started. So because this COVID this year, like 2020 we have COVID, but that COVID is little bit maintained. But this year COVID have many casualties in most of the families, and all works is stopped, and mostly people are very suffered. They lost their loved ones. So, and this is really thanks to you, Heike. Like, because you teach me, so I practice on them and make them peaceful, make them realize what is life and what is going on. So you don't need to be just involved that, you need to be understand what is going on, and this is not your fault. What is going in your family, this is not your fault. You need your own peace. If you are in peace, then you give peace to others. So it's really worked for me. Like, and this is really very good for this society and this community, my Samvedna family. This is very, very grateful to you. Okay. This is my bad luck. I didn't met Leonard, but what I heard with you and his read his books, and is really great, amazing. He's really amazing. So, and I wish and I invite all reverters to Rishikesh if they want to be. Anytime they come, they want to come Rishikesh and they plan anything. We are here for them always. So we can arrange everything what they need, because we make here fireplace, we make here separate rooms for sessions and take care of those things. Because when in this year I go deeper in that, so everything we want to do. Thank you, Heike, give me this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thanks to all. Thanks.
You. So Aarti, Samvedana is right next to the Rishikesh Sadan, so where I stayed, and Annie and Karuna, and we got locked down there and stayed 2 months longer, and the hotel is surrounded by 3 sides of forest, and it was heaven. And then all around us were the people that were so excited about rebirthing, and we were so well taken care of by Aarti. And it was a beautiful, wonderful time. And yes, I think that having rebirthing breathwork and working with the local women and the local community, like you have a little space where you give seminars and where you're teaching the local women, and you have different projects to support them. So if you want to check it out, it's under Samvedana. You have a website,
Samvednaconnectingsouls.com.
connectingsouls.com. So yes, and that is also a very worthy project, because Aarti has different sewing projects for women to earn money, and so I thank you for all the work that you do for the world, and thank you. Okay, Agatha, are you here? I think we should go with the topic of physical immortality now, and then we can also have a live discussion about this, because physical immortality was something that was one of the deepest meditations that Leonard did, thinking about the possibility to align our spiritual nature with our physical nature. And he inspired and he contemplated those ideas, and you also got inspired, and you went to progress in your own journey. And so maybe we can share a little bit about this weird idea. What is physical immortality?
Yes, hello Heike, hello everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
How is the sound quality?
Very good.
Okay, great. So hello everybody, and yes, it was very, very beautiful and inspiring to me to listen to your stories, and it really touched my heart. And yeah, I will tell more about it maybe in the end, but now first of all, maybe I introduce myself a little bit for those who don't know me. And, yeah, so my name is Agata. I live here in Germany. I was born in Poland and grew up there, and later in the age of 22 I moved to Germany, yeah, where I continued my life and my spiritual journey. As you know, some of you know, Poland is a country which is quite Catholic, so I grew up in this mentality. And yeah, I have always been seeking for truth and for God, and I didn't really like this concept as a child already, that God were somewhere else. Yes, so difficult to reach, and we were all sinners and so on. So I didn't like it. But well, then I moved to Germany, and I had the chance to yeah, to evolve more my spiritual path. And yes, and one day I decided to do past life regression therapy. And then I had my first rebirthing. It was not with Leonard, but it was this breathing technique. And then I had, during my second session, I really had a mystical experience where I saw a light ball. I was taken out of my body, and I saw a beautiful light ball, and I didn't know what it was. So I wanted to know. And I was so fascinated with rebirthing, and because it showed me really that there is more, that I am more than my body. I am not just the body, the suit I am wearing. So I wanted to find out more. And then I was searching on the internet about rebirthing, and then I found Leonard's webpage. So I said, okay, I will just contact, I didn't know anything about Leonard and his work. I just found the webpage, and I thought to myself, okay, I will contact this company and see what happens. Maybe I would like to make some course or find out more, because I was really so inspired with this breathing technique. Okay, so then I contacted the Leonard. I didn't really believe that Leonard will answer personally, so I thought somebody from his team maybe would answer. And a couple of hours later, I got the message, and I just asked him, wow, is it really you? I couldn't believe that he personally answered me, but he did. And then I told him about my experience. I wrote him my second email and told him about the light ball and what could it be, because I've never seen it before. It was such a loving energy and powerful and strong. And so, yeah, and then Leonard told me it could be Babaji, because this is the way Babaji appears sometimes to his disciples or his students, to people he contacts. So it was really resonates in my heart immediately. I said, wow, who is Babaji? I didn't know anything about Babaji. And then he told me a little bit, and then said, yeah, there are books you can research. And of course I did it. So I went on YouTube and all the stuff everybody does when we look for something. And then I said, wow, what a powerful being. I saw some mantras on YouTube. And then I started to really try to connect to Babaji. And then just in my thoughts, in my meditations, and of course, especially when I was breathing, because I started then my sessions as I did almost daily, and I do it still almost daily, rebirthing. It is for me very, very powerful and healing. Yeah, and then I had some time later my first out-of-body experience and connection with Babaji, where he appeared to me and asked me if I wanted to, if it is my choice, if I wanted to be taught by him or guided, however you want to call it. And I was so touched and so really, really deep touched. And I was crying and was so, yeah, it was amazing. So this was the first experience I had out of my body where I really knew there is more. I am not my body, I am more. And then sometime later, I participated in Leonard seminar with Heike together here in Germany, which was so amazing. And the connection to Leonard was so beautiful. He was such a powerful being and loving. And what I really loved in him so much, this calmness. He was always really grounded, and how I experienced him, and loving. He had love for everyone. And the great thing was he could really mirror us. He mirrored me, my shadows, my topics, which I'm supposed to change, to learn, to grow. So yeah, this was the experience. Yeah, and since that I started to really put my focus on out-of-body experiences and physical immortality, because Leonard was the first person in my life who introduced me to this concept. In the beginning, I was, of course, like everyone, that's impossible. Is he crazy? Why am I supposed to live that long and get old and sick and all this stuff? But later I realized that the concept is really different. Yeah, it's not about being old and live here and get aches and suffer. That's not what it's all about. It's about to change our frequency and to change our DNA, to evolve our DNA. We are really able to, and I am really 100% sure that we are able to live forever, to not to even reverse our age, to change our DNA, to get younger again. It is really not just some, I don't know, crazy ideas, because meanwhile, we know that the science even confirms that there is the immortal gene. They found it. They don't want to show it to the world because, of course, what happens when everybody lives here? We see now what is going on. Yeah, that's not really the plan that many people live here on this planet, but it is possible. And during the years, I had really contact to beings, not in the physical form, but during my out-of-body experiences, which are very, very important to me. I practice it because this is, to me, one of the possibilities to get informations from different dimensions, because we need a teacher. If you want to get immortal, you need a master, you need a teacher from somewhere else who already has done it, who can guide us, because here we don't get the information. But the access we have all within us. So everybody can get the access to an immortal master, or to your spirit even, yeah, and then get the information. And rebirthing is, to me, one of the most powerful tools how we can do it. And it is all within us, everybody. We all can breathe. We all have the power to connect, and God lives within us. God is not somewhere out there in the heaven, and we have to reach out and pray to connect, because we are already divine beings. We are spiritual beings. It's all in us, but we forget it. And as soon as we start to remember who we really are, and we start to use the power we have within us through
the problem is it might be slow.
It is, to me, so really possible that we can do it all. And to me, this is my goal of my life now, to reach it. I don't know if I can do it, if I will do it, but this is my greatest inspiration, my greatest motivation, and this is what I want to reach. And we have the tools. Leonard gave us the tools. Other masters showed that it's possible, especially we have here a guest from India, and there are so many immortal yogis and masters from the Far East who have done it. Yeah, so it's not just something that's not possible.
Yeah.
And
So Leonard created rebirthing actually, or he always said that rebirthing was created in the context of physical immortality. It was just dropped out by many people because the idea was too big for their mind and not materialistic or fitting in. And so they are not professional enough because it expands our mind. I mean, just contemplating the idea that we have that option and that possibility that we actually could live a happy, healthy life on this planet instead of self-destruction with our death urge and destroying each other and the planet in the process. And you know, one of the vaccinations, the ideas of changing the DNA was the vaccination to get to manipulate that immortal gene as well. So I mean, there is a lot going on about that, which is of course not in our interest, because we want people to wake up and have that access directly to the divine and our potential, and not getting that through mass manipulation.
yes, exactly. That's a very important point that you now said, Heike, with the jab, with the vaccination. And I will tell maybe just a couple of sentences, but this is really my personal opinion, and I don't want to convince anybody to take it or not to take it. Everyone has free will and can decide, but I will tell you my personal opinion. And I think this is really something very bad and very dark. Why? Because it does manipulate our DNA, and our DNA and our soul are very closely connected. So they do not want us to wake up. They see that the consciousness on our planet is growing, that more and more people wake up, and they try to do anything just to suppress it. And of course, well, I don't know to talk. You can make a separate session about COVID and vaccination, and then we can share our opinions. But I just altogether, I would like to say that really it is manipulation. It is something that will destroy our DNA, change, manipulate. And this is what I don't want. My DNA, I evolved my DNA. Look, we have been living so many lives, not 5 lives, not 10 lives. We all know for the rebirthing. We have memories from our previous life. We have our experiences, and we have been evolving. And now you have lived through all those challenges and all those difficult times. And now we are here, and now somebody wants to bring us back or to change something. This is not what I will never allow to do it with myself, never, and my family. So yeah, that's the personal opinion. But I don't want to talk too much. I could, if you have question, I answer, of course, but I just would like to say that really Leonard Orr was one of the greatest inspirations in my life. And through his rebirthing teaching and his inspiration, his idea about the physical immortality, which was far ahead, but he knew he had the connection to Babaji and other masters, and he knew that it's possible. He knew it in his soul. And now it's getting more normal, yeah, that we know there is the immortal gene, so it is possible. And we have this wonderful tool of rebirthing and spiritual purification, and we are all able to reach it. We have to transform our karma, we have to work on ourselves, but we can do it. And especially when we hear what beautiful work some of you do with children. This is so beautiful, and they are so open-minded, and they are so light, as you said. And if we start in this generation to teach them and to expand their mind, that they can live forever, they can heal their body, then they will grow up with different consciousness and they will share it with others. And this is, I think it is our responsibility to do it. That's why I like to say thank you very much for this great job. And yes, I'm also working as rebirther and therapist. I do past life regression therapy where people are able to transform their karma, their shadows, and heal themselves. So this is what I do. And I also have some project where I want to share this knowledge.
And so where can people find you? You are living near Munich,
yes,
but maybe you can put your...
I have here my flyer, so it is probably mirrored, but I show you the address. So it's like my name, agatayanik.de.
Okay.
So you can also over Heike, you can find me. And yeah, I think it's this is my biggest wish and dream to share this idea of the world. So thank you very much for hearing. And yes, I'm happy to be with you. Great community. Great to be here.
Thank you, Agatha. Yes, wonderful. I always value our connection because if I want to tune in and get some clear on something, you're always a great source of clarity. So yes, Leonard, in the context for Leonard to explore all these possibilities was developed through rebirthing, because in the rebirthing session, we haven't talked so much about the individual sessions. Jayshree mentioned the completed energy cycle, that we're actually accessing deeper states of consciousness, and that we are we have the possibility to influence our DNA and our physical body and transform our physical body, because also the emotional body influences our physical body, so that if we are sad and depressed and bitter or angry, that has an impact on our physical structure. So healing the emotional mind is one of the most important things. And now I got very much into Rudolf Steiner. I mean, that's the first basic step, is like developing your personality and becoming a real human being. And so we that was also part of Leonard's teaching. So some people didn't think that his training was professional enough or something, but his training went so much deeper than just the superficial learning of just information. And but we are going very deep into healing ourselves, and the idea of physical immortality is actually healing our self-destructive patterns. So that is the concept, that is the vision of ourselves, that we eliminate all the destructive death urge energy inside of us. And so Leonard used to say, people who can't even contemplate or think about the idea of physical immortality, why should they do rebirthing? Because they're going so deep. We have to be willing and open to receiving the messages. And yes, Babaji was for Leonard, it was just the greatest inspiration. He saw the greatest being on this planet. And there is many stories about his time with Babaji, and you feel you have that personal connection, and you get many messages from Babaji all the time.
Yes, and I would like to say, if I may, to the end, that it is, of course, we will not be able to become immortal when we don't clean our house, when we don't heal our body, because our physical body is very important. It's our suit, it's our tool, and we need it to interact here with this reality, with this dimension. So rebirthing is so beautiful, so deep, and so complex that we have the chance with this one tool and spiritual purification to heal our body with this, the first step to heal our emotional bodies, transform our karma, and then we are the chance to do it, not I cannot just say, okay, I want to be immortal and I will be immortal. First, I have to do my homework. And that is, of course, so important. And Leonard gave us this great heritage, this beautiful technique and knowledge. So we all have it in our hand, and that's the greatest thing. We don't need really anybody. We can do it on our own when we have the knowledge and a teacher from different dimension, which we all can have, like Babaji. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. So I would like to invite Karuna to speak a little bit about if you, yes, you are there. So because Karuna, Leonard passed on the day of the teacher 2 years ago, which to me was in some ways a shock, because it meant I lose my best friend. And but he was struggling for 2 years already with his physical body, but he is still available. And that is something that I really like to point out, because he is not gone. And his wisdom, oh, some emotion. And his wisdom, he is still available to people, and he appears to people in sessions. And Karuna had that experience, and I would like her to share with us, if you please could, your experiences. And Karuna lives actually in Mayapur in India.
Yes. Namaste to everybody. Nice to see you all. When I heard about the departure, physical departure of Leonard, or the body he was in at that time, I was actually extremely disappointed, because I always had the desire to do a rebirthing training with him. So that was quite a shock for me to digest. But then somehow I got, via internet, I got the connection of Heike, and I was reading that she has traveled with him about 25 years, and I thought, okay, and she is German. German always have good quality. So let me do a training with Heike, and it happened to be in Rishikesh. So, but still there was some inner longing that I actually would love to have the connection with Leonard. So, but then when we started to do the training, I just felt his presence deeply and strongly. And I also think the credit goes to Heike, because she is so deeply connected with Leonard in her teachings she gave. So already that room was created, that presence was already there from Heike giving that space. And there was different experiences. One experience was that by feeling his presence and that extreme unconditional love he was radiating out to me was actually quite overwhelming during a session. It really touched my heart. I was like, I felt like so much compassion coming from him towards me, and that presence and guidance really was helping me. And even after the training, I feel like a newified baby learning how to rebirth, but because of his presence, I always feel protected. And I know at any time when there is a rebirthing session, he is available and present and ready to guide. We just have to connect and ask, and he will be there.
Would you like to share some specific sessions that you had in Rishikesh?
Well, there was one session because of the presence I felt, I wanted to know, is that only for me or is it also for others? And he said he is always available. We just need to ask and invite his presence. So I wanted to know how to connect, and he just said there is 2 ways to do that. That is through prayers or by remembering him like that. So that was also very beautiful to experience. And, you know, to speak about it, I don't feel I even can put the right words, because that presence of love and compassion he radiates out in the session is so strong. And in another connection, I had a water rebirthing session with Heike. She was guiding me, and I was a bit nervous about it. So to see the connection, the presence of Leonard and Heike was also very heart-touching to me, that they together were present in that session, so I could actually relax into it because of their both present, and to see their loving relation and energy they have together was also very, very beautiful for me to witness and notice. But for sure, it is giving me a lot of confidence during my sessions when I am the guide, that it gives me the surety that whatever happens, it's like, you know, every session is expect the unexpected. So because of that loving space and that powerful presence, I get really confident, and there is no fear or anything, which I really am very grateful for it. And I do not feel I would have the possibility to do these rebirthing sessions on my own without this presence. Also, Heike is very present, and of Leonard, to do it without both of them.
Thank you very much. Yes, I think connecting with Leonard's, or the Agatha also said that, was the divine power that is surrounding us, and Leonard is now more expanded. He is even more expanded than he was able to give in the physical world, and to connect with that spiritual power that guides us in those times is the beauty. And that's what we're really doing with rebirthing breathwork, that we are accessing deeper wisdom and knowledge and awareness of our abilities. So thank you very much. And, you know, it was such an inspiration, because it was only, I think, half a year after Leonard's passing, and I was still trying to adjust myself, you know, what do I do now? And knowing that he is present. And so, you know, when people ask me about, do I grieve? It is like, what can I grieve for? What's inside of me? And so that's what we all have to understand, that we have a divine connection to divine beings, and to all of us. We can have that same connection also with each other. And that is the goal. And Leonard would love that. Leonard always said that he was waiting for people to grow up enough so that they can have harmonious relationships with each other. And so we are doing that here also at this moment, so that we are having loving, kind relationships with each other. Thank you. So I would like to invite anybody who has met Leonard, if there is a sharing. Otherwise, I do have a video of Sarah doing a fire ceremony, which I might play in. But if there's anybody in this group that Sandra, is there anything on Facebook? Did you see anything?
No, there are no comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, thank you. Okay. Anybody who feels inspired to say something? Okay, I will play now the video that I have from the I just have to find it. Okay.
May I share something?
Sure, just go ahead.
I'm German. I live in the north of Germany. And I came in contact with rebirthing in Pune as a sannyasi. And shortly afterwards, 81 or so, I invited Leonard to my hometown, that was Freiburg in the south of Germany. And one thing was he had a talk there, and he stayed in my apartment and took the bathtub. But he continued to stay in the bathtub, and I had really to force him out of the bathtub to come early enough to the session we had. And but we came there and it went fine. And I just want to share that I'm very grateful for him, because I came in contact with Frederick Le Boyer, because we had to read his book, and we became friends. I was very close to him. And so that is my gratefulness, yeah, because I met this beautiful doctor, gynecologist, you know, everybody of us knows him. Not everybody. Yesterday I went to a official talk here in a town hall, and there was a gynecologist, and we became into contact. And I talked to her and I said, "Do you know Frederick Le Boyer?" And she said, "No, who's that?" So I just wrote the name down. I gave her the name of the book. So that's my great thankfulness. And about the physical immortality, I have a really big problem with that, you know. And I wrote him also afterwards, 3-4 years ago, maybe 2, 3, 4 years before his death. And he never responded, because I just doubted it, you know. I just said, you know, for me, the physical immortality, the word is not good, because for me, the understanding, I come from the Indian Vedas, from the Vedanta, and we don't have a physical immortality, you know, the physicalness of immortality that doesn't work together. So I just wrote the email down from Agatha to talk a little bit about this with her. That's very difficult for me to still promote the immortality, the physical immortality. And through your sharing, I understood a little bit better what you meant, but it is exactly not that, you know, it has nothing to do with the physical.
Well,
so that's in the teaching of the Vedas. I don't want to put any doubt into anybody, but that's a big problem for me to still hear these words. And for me, it's a mixture between what we are. What we are is not I am physical, immortal, I Alf, but the physical immortality, the immortality is what is. but not the body and not the mind, etc. So if I can share, if somebody is there in the chat, leave his email and I can discuss it a little bit, because I'm very concerned with his thought. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for sharing. And Leonard always would respond to emails, but in the last years he wasn't so. He was a bit overwhelmed by everything that was going on. So, but discussing it is the basic. So to just get inspired by these ideas, and even if it brings up something and we say, no, that is a weird and a terrible idea, but then just thinking about it initiates energy inside of us. You know, is everything predictable? Is everything limited? And Leonard said that putting the words physical and immortality together was actually the special thing, that we have to put those two together. And so all his teachings were about putting those two words together. So yes, just contemplating it is already accomplishment. I think so. It doesn't matter what we believe, but just thinking about, do I want to live that physical immortality? Do I want to be healthy and alive? And just thinking about that. Or is there anything that says there is another world where I should go, and it will be, that is the only thing. But to just transforming that physical body that the Creator gave to us into something beautiful and light. And so even if we don't make it, as Leonard would say always, you know, that is not the point. The point is that we have a superior goal that means emotionally, physically healthy, and aliveness inside of what we are expressing, creatively expressing in our life. So thank you, Alf, for sharing that. I see, yes, please come in and share.
Hi. Well, I met Leonard, I think it was 2006 or 7.
We only see Pure Vida Tenerife, but it's Silke Modersohn, a rebirther, a long-time rebirther who lives on Tenerife.
Yes. And I was traveling to your center with him. I stayed at your center. I went to the States with him. And I was organizing him 4 times in Tenerife. And I teach physical immortality. Well, I do rebirther trainings. And for me, physical immortality is, maybe the term is difficult for some people. But for me, what it is about is to be alive now and not to focus on death, to focus on life. And if I'm fully alive, and that is what I teach, and that is what rebirthing is about for me, is to be fully alive and enjoy life. And if I do this every day in every moment, so I will see where it gets to. I have no idea, but for me, it's the now. Here now, I'm fully alive. And work on the thoughts about death and about sickness, and turn them into fully liveness thoughts is a beautiful task. And I live here on a beautiful place. It's just all the elements here, and I do them every day. And so for me, this is what I maybe teach is not the word. It's just what I show other people, what I inspire other people to do. And for me, that's what rebirthing is about.
Thank you. Yes, it becomes a lifestyle. It becomes something that we that is with us on a daily basis. Like some people share that, you know, I also take a bath twice a day and rebirth myself. I do fire. I have places outside and in the house where I can do fire, and just feeling that energy and feeling when my body gets out of tune and gets overwhelmed with emotional energy, and when I feel contracted, and then doing the practices where I can open myself again and really loving life. And always Leonard used to say, when he was back into the womb of his mother, how happy he was coming back into the physical universe. So physical immortality for me is just honoring aliveness, honoring that the Creator created this place for us and we are playing with it, and we are just a divine expression, and we do as good as we can. And hopefully we keep growing all the time, emotionally and spiritually, and in our knowledge and understanding, and the practices just help us with that. Anything else, Silke?
Well, thank you. It's exactly what I live and what I learned from him. And I will share that in the Spanish part this afternoon. But I really learned from him to manifest, to that everything is possible. That was the greatest gift I ever received. And he showed me that there's no limits. And if you can see, I have this beautiful pool. I have a really big jacuzzi. I have a beautiful garden, and I'm just loved by life. And that's what I learned. Had to discover again, because that's our natural truth. So I'm very honored to be part of this family, the spiritual life family. I love you all.
Thank you, Silke, very much. Yes. And so while you're saying it, we have 3 more meetings today, and we are having the German meeting will be at 12 p.m. German time, and then we have a Spanish meeting at 3 p.m. European Central Time, and then we have another meeting at 6 p.m. in English, which will Sarah, Dawn, and Peace Arnold will be. We have special guests Viola and Lila Edward and Jan Hooks, who was with us last year as well, and so we have a lot more guests than at that time. So I'm just totally grateful for all the people that are here, because Leonard had a big impact. He had just rubbing people wrong was an impact, just challenging people's beliefs on their health, on their belief systems, and that's what I loved. He would just say one sentence and it could start a thinking process or an emotional process for weeks. And just that spiritual certainty, he had that Scorpio certainty that whatever, he was a challenging being, but it was like that was his power also. He would do whatever he thought was right for him to do, and either you value the relationship more than the points that he rubs inside of you, or you drop out of the relationship. And so I always valued my relationship with him more than my emotional upsets. So my story around it. So that's why I was able to live so close by for 28 years, so that I didn't get blown away. And the emotional healing that he invoked in me is just tremendous. So I have that same gratitude, that his presence was just amazing, and it still is. So that's what my message is right now. So we are at Rebirth International Breathwork Association. We consider ourselves the lineage keepers, so that we keep his trainings the way he wanted it, with individual sessions, with the purification, with spiritual enlightenment, just as Leonard wanted it to be, and we keep that going. And because there's many branches now of breathwork, and breathwork is getting very popular, and in all sorts of different ways, and we just like to keep it in his original, in his ideas. So anybody else who would like to share? Okay, I will try to see if I get that with the screen sharing. So give me a moment, and then we will see the fire ceremony that Sarah did with her little son for us, inspired by Leonard. And and I just have to look at it. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, Heike.
Okay.
Hello, friends. Thank you for being here today as a part of this celebration. And thank you for being a part of our global breathwork community, which is really a part of Leonard's living legacy. And my name is Sarah Dawn. I first met Leonard in 2002 and became his ebook and newsletter publisher. I traveled around the world with him, organized trainings, but most importantly, he became a very dear friend and teacher to me. And I'd like to share with you today a very simple fire ceremony that Leonard taught to me, I think back in 2004, while I was living with he and his previous wife in Virginia. Leonard would make offerings of his favorite foods to the fire, I think daily, and this was one of his favorite to do just in his fireplace at home. The mantras that he liked to use are very simple. Om Shri Agni, Jai Shri Agni. Agni is the god of fire. Om Shri Ganga, Jai Shri Ganga. Ganga is the source of water. And Om Shri Lakshmi, Jai Shri Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity. And Om Shri Babaji, Jai Shri Babaji. And as many of you know, Babaji is Leonard's guru and an incarnation of Shiva. And thank you, Divine Energy, for earth, energy, love, and substance. And finally, he would do an offering saying someone's name for someone that he would want to support in life. So my son's name is Adamar, so for example, he would say Om Shri Adamar, Jai Shri Adamar, and then finish with a simple Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, which means peace. So I'll do this simple ceremony now, and please join with me in the energy of this purification. And afterwards, I'll be doing, making an offering of Chamundaye mantra 108 times. And this is a powerful mantra representing all three aspects of the Divine Mother and forces in the universe. And we'll get started. Om Shri Agni, Jai Shri Agni, Svaha. Om Shri Ganga, Jai Shri Ganga, Svaha. Om Shri Lakshmi, Jai Shri Lakshmi, bless me with an abundance of health, wealth, and prosperity, and all that is good, Svaha. Om Shri Babaji, Jai Shri Babaji, Thank you, Divine Mother, for earth, energy, love, and substance. Swaha. Om Shri Leonard, Jai Shri Leonard, Swaha. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Swaha. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundaye Vijay 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 Swaha.
And what's that? Some more? More?
Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundaye Vijay Swaha. 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 Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundaye Vijay Swaha.
I really thought.
I just love how Adama is present with the fire ceremony. And when he says Om Namah Shivaya, that is the most beautiful sound. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I hope the sound was good to understand. Anybody has the last one phrase or something that you would like to share before we complete this meeting for now? I just want to say what a pleasure and a privilege it's been to be here with all of you. Eva, go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you for connecting me with Leonard, even though I've never met him in person.
My pleasure. Thank you. Radha, anything you'd like to share?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Deep gratitude for helping us connect like this.
Thank you. Radha is one of the teachers at Creative and helping a lot. Thank you.
Did have questions on immortality.
You're breaking up a little bit. It's difficult to understand.
So I got a lot of answers for that.
Can you please repeat what you said? Radha?
Yeah, Haika.
Okay.
Yes, Haika. I just wanted to express my gratitude for having all of us meet like this. And I had questions on physical immortality and about Leonard not being on the earth plane. So the discussions today really helped. Thank you so much. And thanks to all the speakers.
Thank you, Radha. Anybody else to complete this meeting? Thank you. Yes, in the chat. Yes, thank you. And we will continue Leonard's teachings and just uniting in his spirit and being there for each other. And thank you for the Rebirthing community and the community of physical immortality. Okay, so 12 o'clock in 1 hour, we will start the German session. We have Konrad Halbig there. Agatha will be with us again. Eva and Sandra, and then also Lamia Hariri. And I did an interview also with Gunther Rito Griebel, who actually traveled with Leonard in the US, and he was part of the Rebirthing in the Prison project and went to be with Babaji as well. But it will be in German. So for some of you, you will, that is not something that you want to be there. And then at 3 o'clock my time, Central European time, we have the Spanish meeting, and Silke will be there again, and it will be led by Irene Jovi Baumann and Armando Sanchez. And then at 6 p.m. Central European time, we will do another meeting where Sarah, who you just saw, and Peace Arnold will be interviewing more people. And thank you so much. And I'm sending my love, and I'm receiving your love, and I feel totally blessed.
Can I say something at the end?
Yes, sure, Agatha.
Yes. Now come the idea. So that's, of course, I would like to say thank you very much for being here. It was to me a pleasure. And I had just the idea because I see that the topic of physical immortality is a topic that's exciting, but also challenging and also, yeah, very, very important, I think. So I think if you would like, or if you have the desire, we could make another meeting about physical immortality, and then I could share with you other my personal experiences and my knowledge. And so if there is a desire and interest, we could do that. So I would be for you there.
Yes, and the 15th of November, which is Leonard's birthday, will be all about physical immortality. So it's not that long to go.
Yeah.
So we
also
will
make another one in between if we want to.
Yes, yes. And I would love to have a group with you, a regular group where people could join and share about that. We briefly talked about that or mentioned it. So yes, there's a lot more that we can do, and keep inspiring everybody.
Now let's do it. So thank you all very much. And in 1 hour, we're in German session. Okay, bye-bye.
Yes. Om Namah Shivaya, Bole Baba Ki Jai, Shijagrambe Mata Ki Jai. See you all soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.